The subject of credit is something that most people don't ever want to talk about. It's that big elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about their credit. Nobody wants to share their credit report. Nobody wants to share their credit score because most people are generally just embarrassed about their credit score. And I don't blame them because, we live in a society where most of our financial capabilities are based on our ability to qualify for good credit. And it's sad that we don't get this kind of information right from the onset when we're building our credit. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is your favorite Snap educator, Snap professor, and this guy keeps showing up in my videos. And anyway, welcome back to another video. I am super excited to talk about something that's super important to me. You guys already know all these topics that I come out here to talk about is very, very important to me. These are mistakes that I made when I was in college. And I believe that if I had this type of information, maybe I wouldn't have made those kinds of mistakes. But today I want us to talk about credit cards, how to manage your credit, and how to make sure you're maintaining a good credit score. So if this is something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Credit is borrowed money that you can use or spend on anything that you want or need with an understanding that you're going to pay it back at a scheduled time with finance charges or interest. It all begins when you're in college. Most of these credit card companies will show up to your campuses, passing out credit card applications left and right to anyone who wants one, simply because they know that most college students are vulnerable and they need extra cash. They will give out these credit cards in exchange for a free t-shirt that says college or finance or credit or something cool like that on there, without you knowing that you just made one of the most important financial decisions of your life. If this is your first or your second year in college, I would recommend that you do not apply for a credit card, simply because you're not in a financial situation or financial position to make the necessary payments that will prevent you from ruining your credit right when you're in college. Even if you have a job, I wouldn't recommend that you get a credit card just yet. Now, once you get to your third and your fourth year, at that point, then you want to apply for a credit card. So you want to make sure that you do your due diligence before you apply for a credit card. Just like how you would get a new car or a new apartment or a new home, you want to read the reviews, you want to talk to people, you want to understand the kind of offers and rewards that these banks are offering you to take this credit card from them. Some of these credit card companies will give you cash rewards, and that simply means that every time that you swipe your card, you get a certain percentage of that amount that you spent refunded back to you. Some of them will give you 0% APR, which also just means that you don't have to pay interest on the amount that you're spending, and they can give you 0 APR all the way up to a year before you start paying interest. So these are the different things that you want to look out for when you're applying for a credit card. So now, once you've applied for a credit card and you've been approved and you start using your credit card, at this point, your bankers or the credit card companies will start reporting your credit behavior to the credit bureaus. Now, once they receive that information, they will generate your credit score. Now, your credit score is based on 5 different things, but for the purposes of this video, we're only going to focus on the top 2 percentages when it comes to calculating your credit score. Number 1 is your payment history. Your payment history is your payment history. Are you paying your credit card bill on time? Are you defaulting on your credit card payments? Are you not making any payments at all? When are you making these payments? These are some of the information that they're going to be reporting to the credit bureaus. Okay, number 2 is your credit utilization. And I know it's a big word, credit utilization, but really what it means is how much of this credit that you have are you using. So let's say, for example, you were giving $1,000, you were approved for $1,000. How much of that $1,000 have you used? Whenever they're calculating your credit score, they want to make sure that you are self-sufficient to the extent that you're not using 100% of the credit that has been extended to you. So if you have a credit card and your limit is $1,000, you want to make sure that at all times you're only utilizing 30% of that credit that you have. You want to remember 2 dates. Now, what I want you to do if you have a credit card or if you intend to have a credit card is pick up the phone, call your credit card company, and ask them when your cycle close date is. Now, that is date number 1. Date number 2 is your payment due dates. Now, everybody knows when you go on your credit card statement, you're going to see your credit card due date, and it's going to tell you what your minimum balance is. Your payment due date is important, but it's not as important as your cycle close date. You always want to make sure that you make at least your minimum payments due on your payment due date. And between your payment due date and your cycle close date, you want to make sure that you get your balance to be under 30%. The cycle close date is when your bankers or your creditors are going to report to the credit bureau. At that point, if you've spent more than 30% of your credit limit, then that is going to affect your credit score. So one other way that you can start building your credit is by talking to your parents and seeing the possibility of them adding you onto their existing credit card is available. This way they still have control over your usage of your credit card, and they can also help with payments so you don't default. Now, another way for you to start building your credit is by getting a secured credit card. Now, most of these banks around will offer secure credit cards to their students and really anyone who wants to build their credit. What a secured credit card is they will take money out of your checking or your savings account and apply it to a credit card account. Now, nothing changes. You want to still apply the same techniques and tips that we talked about from earlier. You want to keep your utilization ratio below 30%, and you also want to make sure that you're making your payments consistently and on time. And understanding your cycle close date, same thing. They will be reporting to the credit bureaus, and this is how your credit score will be formed. I hope that you found this information valuable to you. Like I said, I wish I had this kind of information when I was in college. Maybe my credit might not have suffered as much as it did. I've had to work really hard to get my credit score up, and trust me guys, it takes a lot of effort once you've ruined your credit. So please go ahead and apply these tips, and comment down below if there are any other questions or any other topics as far as credit or college is concerned that you want me to discuss. So you guys know that I can't leave without giving you a biblical reference to what we just talked about. So when you read the book of Proverbs chapter number 22:7, it says the rich will rule over the poor and the borrower becomes a slave to the lender. You know, borrowing can easily become a habit and a cycle. Credit cards are not bad. Credit cards are not evil. But it is our choices and the way that we use it that determines its impact in our lives. Thank you, and God bless you.